All right, Darksiders, we're talking Justice League. So here's the deal. Some people love this movie. Some people hated this movie. What did I think? Coming up. We're talking Justice League. So this is really DC's crown jewel of superhero movies in terms of a superhero team. We saw Suicide Squad, which technically wasn't a superhero team, but that bailed. So Justice League was like the saving grace, really also riding off the coattails of Wonder Woman. That was just totally awesome. I liked it better than Spider-Man Homecoming. Just had to put that out there. So I was really looking forward to Justice League, you guys. And when I saw trailer 1, I was like, all right, yeah. Then I saw trailers 2 and 3 and I was like, oh man, I just couldn't deal with the comedy aspect of it. Guys, I like my superhero movies darker in tone. That's why I like The Dark Knight. That's why I like Watchmen, even though that didn't get the greatest reviews. But I like superhero movies that are darker in tone. And the reason for that is they feel more accessible to me as a viewer. Like, okay, everything in this movie might not wrap up in a nice little bow. Everything might not be all right. Some people might not make it out. I like movies like that. So I was thinking we were going to get something like that for Justice League, and we don't. But having said all of that, this is a really good movie. No spoilers, of course. Just got to stop and say that. None at all. None like the last review I saw, which the guy said no spoilers and he told too much. I was like, dude, it's a good thing I already saw this movie, because if I didn't, you would have jacked it up for me. We won't do that here. So I promise, no spoilers. This is a really good movie, you guys. Really good in the sense that when you come away from this movie, I think that it will be an experience that you will enjoy, and actually a movie to me that has some rewatch value. Some people have said that this movie is forgettable, but I beg to differ. Just for the enjoyment factor of watching this movie, I would go see this movie again, despite all of the holes and problems that there were with this film. It is a really good movie. So, tonally, it is true. If you've heard some people talk about how this movie is all over the place tonally, it is all over the place tonally. 1 minute, it does feel kind of heavy-handed, kind of consequential, dire straits in terms of the situation. And then the next minute, it's this really kind of comedically light film that you're watching, which is okay, but the two just seem in conflict with each other, and it does make it a little strange to watch at times. But again, as I said, amazingly so, at the end of the day, when you walk out of the theater, you walk out like you enjoy the whole experience of the movie. It's really a strange thing, and I have to take my hat off to all that's gone on with this movie. We're talking about 2 different directors. We're talking about the restriction in time to a movie done in a 2-hour block. You do realize that the average superhero movie is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So with all that's happened with Justice League, I'm impressed to actually have a final product that is as good as it is. The action in this movie was fantabulous. It was really good. I was surprised. I mean, the production value I thought was really good. Some people had a problem with the CGI, said it seemed too CGI-ish, which is always a weird thing for me, right? I mean, it's 2017 and movies are riddled with CGI, and who cares if there's a lot of CGI in it? If the CGI works, man, if the CGI looks good in the film, who cares? Everybody doesn't have to be on wires swinging across the room. If you're going to let the PC do it, let the PC do it. So I didn't really have any issues with that. I thought that it was actually beautifully done. I was excited about the fight choreography. The fight sequences were really good. I loved all of that. And it was really cool how they had the different superheroes interacting on the screen. That was awesome. That was very well done. I did feel like some parts of the movie, things happened that were just a little bit too convenient. And you guys will see what I mean if you haven't seen the movie when you see it. Like, some things would happen and I'm just like, oh wow, isn't that convenient? I mean, I need this and look at that. I looked up and it's right there. Wow, that's awesome. There were some scenes like that in the movie. I was like, There were also some problems with some of the character dev. Some of the character development was really fast, and people have complained that it did assume that you knew certain things, and it did do that. I get it. You had 2 hours to make the movie, so you couldn't, there was only but so much character development that you can do. I understand that. But there were some complaints about that. That wasn't a big deal to me. Actually, I do feel like the character development that we did get, given the time that we had to get this whole movie done, I thought was decent. Could we have known more about characters' backstories and things like that? I think that would have been cool, but we needed another 20, 30 minutes tacked onto the movie to make that happen, and we just didn't have the time, so they did what they could within the time that they had. So I was satisfied about that. Nope, I'm not going to share that. because that will spoil things for you. You'll see. So there are some really cool things in this story, some kind of tropes, or I wouldn't even call them tropes, but let's call them nods, some kind of nods to some classic themes that you've seen within Justice League. You'll see what I mean when you see the movie. And I thought, oh, that was cool. There's one scene in the movie that's really cool where you get to see this interaction between this kind of barrage of heroes, and I thought that's cool. Like, that's a scene that I won't soon forget about this movie, and it's a nice setup for other movies to come from the DCEU. So that was really cool as well. Guys, let's talk real quickly about whether or not, because some people have mentioned this, whether or not the standalone movies should have come first, kind of like what Marvel did before we got Avengers. So should we have had a standalone Flash first? I'm interested to know what you think about that if you've seen this. Should we have had a standalone Aquaman first? And if we had done that, would that have made this movie a better movie? I will tell you from my perspective, I think it would have been nice to have those first, and maybe it would have filled in some of the backstory, and I think that would have been cool, but I don't think it hurts this movie. I still think that this movie comes across as a very enjoyable movie, and as I said, when you leave the theater, you're going to be happy that you saw this, and for me, it has rewatch value just because the experience that I had with watching it, I really enjoyed. Guys, this is a really good movie. You know, I encourage you to go check it out. This is a great movie for you to check out over the Thanksgiving weekend. Some other good stuff hitting the theaters as well. I think Denzel's movie comes out. I can't remember the name of it, but anything Denzel, I'm going to go see, and I believe that comes out Thanksgiving Day, or maybe the day before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. But this is the movie that you can go check out, guys. If you're on Thanksgiving break, grab the family and go see it. Some people complained about the violence in the movie being a bit too young. I would definitely say this is a PG-13 movie, so you want to be mindful of that. But I didn't think it was over the top in relationship to some of the other DC superhero movies that we've seen. I enjoyed this movie. It will be interesting, you guys. What'll be interesting to see is what kind of numbers this movie gets after opening weekend in comparison to Thor Ragnarok, which is still now running like at the same time. They're kind of competing with each other right now. So it'll be interesting to see what it does in relationship to that. I mean, Thor Ragnarok right now is kicking butt. Guys, at the end of the day, this is a good movie. I would say grab your spouse, your hubby, the family, the kids, or whoever, and go check it out. It's worth your movie going. Hey guys, Al here, and thank you so much for taking the time out to check out this video. Make sure that you express your opinion and leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about what you saw. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and check out some of the other videos we've done over there as well. Make sure that you give it a like if you liked it and share it as well, and we will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.